go.
All right. I'm gonna go open chat.
Ah, stupid computer.
What?
Hang on just a minute.
What? What happened? Michael? Michael?
Okay, now we're good. Now we're
What
good.
happened?
Okay, so what happened was that it started playing the YouTube stream back out because it does that when you start a stream on
Oh
Zoom.
yeah.
And so it started playing it out of the computer speakers.
Not surprised.
I'm all confused.
Huh?
All right, there we go. I had to stop playing the stream because it was coming out of the computer speakers and then it was coming through my headphones, and I'm like, oh boy, this is confusing. All right.
Okay. So let me. Do we promote it on iAccessibility as well?
Yeah, if you want to. I'm going to try to get speech chat to work, so let me paste the URL in there and see what happens. So as usual, folks, we are getting started in just a moment.
Yep. Yep, we're gonna get started in just a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and tweet this as well.
Now, the website for that is speechchat.com, right?
I think so.
I've never used it. I'll tell you what, YouTube, since we're here, I'm just going to say this here. Whoever thought it was a great idea that we had to have a law that every time you go to a web page, you have to accept the fact that it uses cookies is dumb.
Okay. All right. So. But yeah, if anybody is here in the chat, feel free to say hi. We'll get started in just a few minutes.
And somebody apparently locked their car.
Yep. Here we go.
Excellent.
All right. Is speech chat working?
I'm not even sure how to set it up, so I am not sure.
Well, at least I have my chat, so it's good.
Cool. Well, I'll experiment with it and see how we get it working next time. So,
All right, but I have
All right,
promoted it
so-
everywhere, so.
excellent. Awesomeness. So, hang on just a second. I'm going to turn on my video for us to get started.
And yeah, and hopefully, like I said, I don't think we have anybody watching us right now, but I think they'll come in.
All right. So, this is going to be pretty awesome, I think. This is
Yes.
going to be a great episode. So, or it's not even really an episode, it's just a live stream. So, I'm so used to podcasting, it's just a habit,
Yep. Yeah, but I don't think anybody's watching us.
Well, even if they are or not, welcome. We appreciate you being here.
Yep. Let's see here. But yeah, so we posted the link there. All right, I think we're ready to.
So, all right, you ready?
Yes.
So, we're going to go ahead and start off this live stream, and I want to welcome everybody here. I'm Michael, and
I'm Taylor.
so we wanted to come back with another stream today. The last one we did like this was on Taylor's Tech Talks, right? What did we talk about, Taylor?
Yeah, so we did a React Native stream where we had no idea what we were doing, and we basically tried to create an app when we had no idea what we were doing. It actually got some traction. We had people that were actually React Native developers that found the stream.
So it was a lot of fun. I thought,
was.
anyway. We went through some basics, learned some do's and don'ts of React Native, and I learned a lot since then. And we're actually going to go. We're going to go through that in a little bit. I'm going to show Taylor some code that I found online and stuff that I wrote on my own. And I want to give the visual folks out there who are like, well, this is not a great app because doesn't look great. It's not supposed to. It's just to say we can do this.
Yep.
And so I've done a lot of styling. I've done a lot of different things just because I thought it would be cool to do it, not because it would be presentably awesome in an app. So I'm just letting people know that there. But we wanted to talk about something at the beginning of this, and I think it'll be a great discussion. And that's React Native apps versus native apps, and why some are a good idea to be done in React Native, some are not. So Taylor, out of curiosity, just in general, is there any apps that you're interested in building in React Native? Like, what would you love to be able to do in it?
I don't really know yet, right? Because I don't know the whole potential. I mean, I just love to build an app, I'm not exactly sure what I want to build per se in React Native, although, any app that I can,
Yeah, and one of the things that I've decided is I'm not going to write another line of Java code in my life.
Nope.
I mean, if it's so the story behind that is I am not a fan of the Android development system. Kotlin has helped, but if you could standardize a lot with JavaScript, that is where it's at. It's just a very flexible and extensive way of writing code. Although I will say, after you see some of the code that I'm going to show you today, Taylor, you may think that writing Java and JavaScript are very similar because of the vast number of imports that are in this one file.
Oh.
I mean, there's like a lot. And, the thing about Java, just for one Android program, they hide your imports in Android Studio for a reason. And that's because you may have 20 or 30 imports for one activity. And for those that don't know, an activity is a screen. So it's a little ridiculous. So let's actually talk about our topic today. I personally have learned more about React Native in the last week than I've ever known about it, and I made a lot of assumptions. That Taylor quickly told me, "You didn't know that? Duh."
What?
I said, "I've made a lot of assumptions about React Native," which you quickly told me, like, you didn't know these things were not true? Duh. And I did not know that. See, I always thought React Native was very similar to PhoneGap or Cordova
Ionic.
or, and in any of the other web view based container app development platforms. And I had no clue that React Native actually maps to native Vue components.
I'm back, by the way.
Okay. I didn't know you had gone anywhere.
No, I lost Wi-Fi for a sec.
Oh, you were here the whole time.
No, I wasn't.
I could hear you typing most of the time. That's interesting. You even said what and all that, so that was interesting.
Oh.
But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I lost Wi-Fi earlier today, so I totally understand. But yeah, I thought it was just like everything else that we had out there. That were the quick fix. Here's how to put an app in the App Store or the Google Play Store. That is not the case. And even with Expo, you can publish to their servers without even putting it in the store and change it on the fly so people can see how it works. And that's incredible. So we're going to play with that today, but we wanted to talk about when is the right time to use React Native and when is not the right time.
Yep.
So one of the things that I've found is React Native can do a whole lot.
It can.
And it can work with a lot of different operating systems. I didn't see it in the list, but I wonder if it could even work on the watch. But I know it works with iOS, iPadOS, and tvOS, which is pretty awesome. But there's one area it doesn't work. On the Mac. So you can make a React Native Universal app that will work on the Mac using if it's an M1 Mac. And I don't know if they support that's something I want to look up is if React Native supports Catalyst app building. Mm-hmm. But the one thing is that you're if you build it in React Native, you don't get the ability to use the same code everywhere. And, because if I write for Swift UI, I can write for iPhone. It'll work on iPad, Mac, and the watch, and the TV. Now, that's fine.
Yes.
If I'm writing a React Native app, I may not want it to work on all those devices. I may be building just a basic app that I want to work on the iPhone and an Android phone, and that's fine. Or I might want something simple, for my app to just work on Android. That's totally okay. But, if I'm building an app that I want to work in the Apple ecosystem, I'm probably not going to build it with React Native unless it's going to have very basic features. Now,
right.
You can do things like Expo is the system that allows you to publish, and it does a lot of the builds and all that for you. And they even have their own push notification system, which I want to know how that works. But you could do a lot of these things.
I think it uses Firebase, Michael.
Does it? Interesting.
Because when I looked in the YouTube auto keywords, it said React Native Expo Firebase notifications.
Interesting. I want to find out more about that. But
Again, I
it
could
would
be
make
completely
sense.
wrong. So if you're in chat and you're thinking, "Oh my God, Taylor doesn't know what she's talking about," let me know. Because I probably
And,
don't know what I'm talking about most of the time.
it would make sense because all push notifications have to go through Firebase anyway. We've already talked about it a lot. Taylor, do we have anybody in chat?
No, I don't think we have anybody watching, which is
Oh,
unfortunate.
okay.
I
Yeah,
know.
it
That's
is.
why I'm like, that's why I'm like, should I go live on? I don't think we would, but I'm like, I wish I could restream this because there are people that just have my channel that don't have this channel.
Right, but we're going to, and we could post it as a video on your channel as well, and we can get people interested as well.
Yeah, I'm
So
like, yeah,
we have the reason why we're doing this is the new Techopolis channel. It's
Yep.
going to be where we post a lot of our coding discussions and things like that. Along with that, Taylor's Tech Talks, we're going to be, we kind of alternate, right? So I think it'd be neat for us to we'll do one coding stream on this channel, one on Taylor's Tech Talks. That way we can, promote each other's channels and get things, get folks interested in the topics. And also, you have to search around if you want to find some good coding conversations.
yeah.
The
Yeah, I
other
don't
thing
think
is
anybody is here at the moment.
the other thing is we're going to have multiple. It may not just be us posting on this channel. So, we have other folks that develop with us that may want to promote on here their coding stuff. So, that's the whole point of this is to just have fun and talk. And we're going to be, pushing content up here. And we'll actually be on this channel tomorrow. So, Taylor, do you want to talk about our event tomorrow?
I do, but we do have a chat. Apparently, Diddly Do says, hey, I can't stay long, but show my support. Yeah, thank you. And also subscribe as well. So this is the new channel for the Techopolis and the Programming for Everyone server, which we've revived and we've grown like 4 times already. 4 times what it was. It was at 10 people by last week, and now it's at like 40. So the channel.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead. Sorry.
So the event tomorrow, Accessible Coders. So there's a Codecademy chapter, and we have the first Codecademy Accessible Coders chapter. Sorry, yeah, for people like with disabilities or even not. Basically, it's to promote accessibility for coding and programming, and try to get everybody to learn to code, right? Together. So we've got events. We're talking about using the correct IDE for the correct job. So it'll be a really awesome stream and YouTube Zoom thing we're going to have live, so you can RSVP and get access to the Zoom room if you want to interact live. Obviously, it will be streamed to YouTube as well, but we're going to talk about different IDEs tomorrow. And we do have 1 like. Thank you. But yeah, so I just thought I would mention that. I'll put the link in chat to that. But yeah, anything else to add, Michael?
Nope. I think that about, the event's going to be fun. We're going to have a discussion and a Q&A if people have coding questions and want to ask questions about what they're working on and things like that. I think it's going to be really awesome.
Yes.
So, going back to our discussion, I think it's really cool, what we can do with, these apps with React Native. And, I don't know, Taylor, if you've had a chance to go through a lot of the documentation with all of our busy schedules and all that, but,
Oh, I know.
well, it's interesting with Expo. There's 2 types of builds, and you could go with the bare build, which is just React Native, which you can then run with Expo. And there's the managed build where you can build with Expo and then run it, and then anybody can log into it. Well, you can run it, and people can log into it if it's bare as well. But if it's a bare build, people can still do that. It's just you have access to the iOS projects and the Java and the Android projects as well. So you have a lot more control. So like if I was building, like my OCR app on React Native, I could get access to add those APIs in natively through Swift or Objective C.
Yep, and it's pretty awesome because you have a lot of flexibility, right? But then again, flexibility sometimes comes with drawbacks.
Right.
Right.
And sometimes, I kind of feel like, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this, Taylor, but React Native gives you a lot of choices on what you can build. But
Yes.
At what point does it become more of a hindrance to say, I'm going to use this thing on top of this other thing?
On top of this other thing.
Right. So, if I can write Swift code to do what I need to do, I might look at doing that instead of writing React Native, because if I write React Native, I'm still going to have to go back in and write some Swift code to make it work. So why,
And we do have people in chat, so what are your all's thoughts about this? Has anybody worked with React Native? Anybody, know what it is? I'm just curious what chat thinks about this whole thing, right? We've got a few people watching. So, just curious, like, have you ever guys heard of React Native? Do you use it? And if you haven't, that's okay as well, but just, we want to get some input. But yeah, it's pretty awesome because, you can do a lot. But again, there's some drawbacks, right? And so knowing that point when it might make more sense to write natively is definitely something to understand.
Right. And, there's even drawbacks to writing native code.
Yeah.
Because what happens sometimes is you're writing Swift and Java or Kotlin. You have to know, like, how to write those things. And then if you're building for Android or iOS, then, you have to write both apps. And so React Native makes it to where you don't have to know both of those language sets if you're writing a basic app. So if I'm writing, something to display web data, I'm probably going to use that. Now, it is important to know that Expo's managed system does not support background audio. You need to use some native components to be able to run, to play background audio. At least that's the limitations currently that I've read on their website. So when you watch this, years down the road, that may not be the case.
Yep.
So, those are important things to look at. What are the limitations? And Expo and React Native have those things on their website.
Yeah, and they're very obvious too.
Mm-hmm. And I think React Native may have more capabilities than what Expo allows, but on the managed Expo builds, those things are not there. Also, you can only use Expo's push notification service if you're running a managed build as well. So.
And I also just found a Discord server, Michael, we might be interested in, called React Native Developers.
Yeah, we may want to join that one.
I don't know what I was trying to find. I was trying to find something on Expo's documentation, and I just found this Discord server. So let me quick join it. There's 1,100 members.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot of members on a server.
Oh, yeah. But, they've got Firebase, they've got Redux, React Navigation, off topic.
That's another thing that really kind of bothers me about React Native. So React Navigation is a library that you have to import, right? But I feel like that should be built into the React Native core components. Yeah. I mean, I understand why they don't, because if you don't have to have it, it just makes your app more lightweight. I understand that. But navigation is something that every app should have in some form or fashion. But it's neat that you can use React Navigation to build navigation controllers or drawers or tabs or any of the other things, and it's done from the one library. But I kind of feel like if you npm install React Native or whatever you type, that library should come with it. You should.
Or what
do you mean?
npm install Expo.
Well, that's just for an Expo. You still have to install the React Native library separately.
Yes.
So I feel like you should be able to get React navigation without having to run more npm commands. That's just my
Yeah, it needs to be more integrated.
It's interesting. Going back to the topic of which apps should be React and which apps shouldn't, Facebook is a React Native app.
Uber
And
Eats
it's interesting.
as well.
Uber Eats, yep. And it's interesting how, Expo is able to send over-the-air updates. And that's how we see Facebook able to change their UI without doing an App Store update. And that, in a way, bothers me, but in a way, I'm like, man, that's really cool. But it's also how you can implement accessibility issues as well. And, I think eventually once we get good at React Native, we may do some videos where we take a component that we find online at like Stack Overflow and say, this is
And do an
not how you should do
accessibility
this.
teardown.
Yep. And I think that would be fun, don't you think?
Yes, it would.
Yep.
But yeah, that React Native server, I'm going to throw the link in the chat. That's something we should join if you're interested in this, because they definitely have channels, and if we ever get stuck, that's definitely something we should reference.
Agreed.
And we should probably make a React Native channel in our Discord server.
Yeah, I can't remember if we have one or not. I don't know that we do.
I don't think we do. But anyways, that's beside the point.
Yeah.
But the point is that, let's, do we want to actually get in some code?
Yeah, let's get into some code. So,
All right.
that's just some things that before we get into that, that's just some things you might want to consider. And we're going to have this discussion again. Real quick before we get into that though, one thing that I would recommend though, if you're building for iPad, you can do it in React Native. I'm sure you could do split views. I haven't tried, but do it right. Don't build like you're building for an Android tablet and make it a phone size screen that's bigger. Build for iPad, please.
That will save everybody headaches.
If you look at Facebook, it is on the iPad. It is still a big phone app, even though they make it built for iPad. So yeah, build for iPad. Do all the cool pop-ups and all those things that are accessible.
Yeah. And like I said, Uber Eats is also a React Native. There's a lot of React Native apps, right? Because with Facebook,
Yep. And didn't I think you told me that, and we'd have to check on this, but didn't Facebook have a big thing to do with React Native?
Yeah, they were the ones that made it, I believe, originally, right? Michael?
I'm not sure. We'd have to look that up.
No, I think we're getting a lag in the Zoom meeting.
Are we?
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, I think we're fine now.
My internet's being a little slow tonight, y'all. This is what you get when you live in an apartment with free Wi-Fi included in your rent. Normally it's a good thing, but tonight it is not a good thing.
Well,
Anyways.
I pay for my internet, and it went out today, and I had to reset my modem.
Well, I don't have that kind of control. I have to go call this toll-free number. But
And it's interesting. I know of complexes where your router's in your closet and that kind of stuff, and you just go and plug it back in.
Yeah. But anyways, that's going to change when I get my new Ethernet router. Anyways, I'm going way off topic. Today, I just can't seem to stick on a topic. So, let's get into some code before I go even more off topic.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen.
Yep, and we're going to use something called live share. So we probably want to explain to them. Let me go ahead and do that, Michael.
Yeah, if you can do that while I'm getting set up.
Yeah. So LiveShare is a really awesome extension, and we use VS Code around here. And what LiveShare allows us to do is share code in real time using a link or some other mechanism. You can also invite them in your contacts, and it allows you to share in real time like you were in a Google Doc. Right? So it's pretty cool. I love using it. We use it all the time. That's how we code. Whoops. I did not want to do that. Hold on. Let me save this as draft real quick. All right. There we go. All right, I'm viewing Michael's screen.
Yep, and YouTube should see it as well.
All right, so that's kind of a little bit about how we code, right? Because it's awesome with Google Docs. I'm sorry, not Google Docs. Man, I'm all over the place tonight.
Live share.
sorry. Yeah, live share. It's pretty awesome. So if anybody in the chat has ever used VS Code live share, let me know. And if you haven't, maybe you should try it sometime with your coding buddies or your coworkers or whoever you code with, because it's definitely a cool extension to be able to collaboratively code. Okay. Let me open up VS Code. Oh, man. All right. And I'm opening it up. Michael is now going to invite me. Most likely. Right, Michael?
Yep, I got to re-sign back into my account to be able to share.
Don't you love it? And yeah, you sign in with either VS Code. Bleh. Wow, y'all. I should just go to bed. No, you sign in with either Microsoft or GitHub. Excuse me. And that's how you can connect with LiveShare. You don't have to sign in, but then you'd only be an anonymous guest. Didn't I just update VS Code? Interesting. There's a new update already. That's fun. Okay. But yeah, so you literally sign in with either a GitHub or a Microsoft account, and that's how you authenticate, and then that's how you can share back and forth with people. I've had one time where I had 10 people in a live share session, which got a little crazy, but we tend to do it, a lot. And we also have a live share session on the Mac server, don't we, Michael?
Yes, we do.
Where you can actually share, it will keep it going, it will keep the session, indefinitely open. Which is pretty cool. All right. Where are we at, Michael?
I'm sending you a link through mail.
Oh, you're not going to invite me through contacts?
I didn't see it listed because I wasn't signed in. Remember, I was signed in on the Mac whenever we did that.
All right, let's finally open my mail. Okay. All right, so what we're doing right now, guys, we're just going to get set up, and then we're going to hop right into some code. Michael's going to explain, and I got the link. I'm going to click this link, and then what it will do is it'll connect me to Michael's thing. Whoops. And you can also do it in Visual Studio itself if you have that as well. So it's pretty nice because you can use both. All right, I see Michael's screen and his content, I believe. Let me make sure. Uh-oh, Michael. Don't tell me we have to play this game again.
What's that?
You have to accept it.
Okay, hang on.
All right, so sometimes this will happen where you have to accept the person. Wait a second. Wait, are you sharing a terminal with me?
I have a terminal window open.
Oh, I see it. Wait, what's up with this? Okay, Michael, I don't know. I see the stuff now. Am I in?
It says guest user.
Well, I don't really care at this point. As long can I make changes? Do you see me now?
Hang on just a second.
Yeah, I see it.
Yes, I do see you.
Okay, well, you showed up as null the other day, so.
Yeah, there's some weirdness that happens with this, but the other thing that's happening is I was signed into multiple accounts, so my Mac was signed in, which I'm betting it's not anymore. And and then my computer was also on live share as well. So I may have to get a second account for being on that machine as well.
I think you might have to. Okay. But the point is that we're going to go over some code. And I'm currently in app.js. Where are you, Michael?
I'm in app.js as well. So if you look, there's the different import lines,
Yep.
and there's a lot of them.
There are. So it's interesting because the other day, we had it where all the imports were in one line.
Right, but on this one, we can't really do that because we're importing from multiple libraries. If you see that.
So gesture. I saw this. Is that for navigation of some sort?
That is for the navigation, the React navigation.
Status bar. I'm obviously familiar with that. That's for our status bar. Did we ever say
Yep.
that status bar didn't show up the other day?
I don't remember.
Import React, and then we have something called use state, because you were talking about that earlier on Discord.
Yes. So let's talk about that.
All
so
right,
we
let's
talked
do it.
we talked about how to change state in React Native code last time. And the consensus from our YouTube chat was that we needed to use classes as our components.
We did.
This is not the case apparently. You can do this, but classes actually take up more memory in your applications than using functional components. And I bet everybody who does not understand React Native's eyes just glazed over right there.
So let's explain. Let's take this back, do we?
Sure. So the way that you write screens and different things in React Native is you create components. And in Swift UI, we call those views, and in other places, they're views as well. But like a text field is a component, but we make our own custom components that represent our screens and things on our screens. So there's two ways to create a component. You can make them from a class, which is typically what you would do in UIKit. You would and on the Android side with activities, you make them into classes. But if you make them into functions, then you actually get you don't have to write as much code, and you can they take up less memory on runtime. So in classes, you can just declare a variable called state and make objects. Well, here we could do something similar, but we also can use a function called useState, which can be used to change the state of the variable.
Yes.
So that's why we have that there. So that one line imports React, the React object, and the useState function as well. That's why that line looks a little different.
Okay. Safe area view, scroll view, text area, text input. We've got a lot going on. Style sheet. So this is basically the big line we had a while back.
Right. Now, something also to keep in mind, that safe area view that you see on that line.
It's not on Android, is it?
Right. It's an iOS only view, so it gets ignored. I think it just becomes a regular view on Android. So you have to actually check for platform if you want to make sure stuff does not go in the status bar on Android. We have not done that in this.
We've not.
We have not done that on this version though.
All right. Navigation container, I've seen that. So is that to contain the navigation bar?
Yes, that is basically the view that will contain all of our navigation.
Okay. I did see that in one of the examples. Create stack navigator. I also saw that as well. So that is the navigation stack.
Yes. So the way that navigation works, at least in this context, which is funny because the way that you do things on Android is through activities and contexts. So, that kind of works. You are using a stack. So you push a new view onto the stack, and then when you're done with it, when you press back, you're popping it off the stack. Now, one of the things that I've seen in the iOS simulator is, for whatever reason, pressing the back button with React Native is very slow. And I don't know if that's a simulator only problem or what that is, but it just does not seem to be fast.
It's interesting that you mentioned that. Oh, jeez. Okay. So, because,
The
yeah, I've
yawn
seen.
stream.
What?
I said the yawn stream.
Yeah, sorry, guys. But it's interesting that you say that because I have had some instances when I do use React Native apps that the back buttons do seem slow.
Yeah, I don't know what's causing that. The other thing that I believe is, and I think we talked about this earlier, is the React Native navigation library should be imported
By
and
default.
installed by default when you run npm install React Native. So that's just my personal opinion.
Yep.
But you don't have to use it. You don't have to import it, but just put it there, please. Don't make extra lines of code.
Yep. So if we could just if we could have some, a few more things imported by default, that would definitely help people. But again, these are just kind of our rants. Okay. So we're done with imports, right?
See, almost like a Java file. There's a lot of them.
There are. But so const stack equals create stack navigator. That creates our stack navigator instance, right?
That's correct.
Oh. Okay. Export default function app. So this will export our app module, right, to be used in other in other files.
Correct. We can, you can reference props for the app in other files.
Right. So hopefully this all makes sense. Again, this is probably over a lot of people's heads, but
we have fun. So
we do.
Because we have fun, everybody else has to suffer. I mean, unless you really enjoy this stuff like us, and then it's all good. So that's how it works.
Yeah. So what's up with all this white space in this file, Michael?
One of those lines can go away.
No, I'm just saying in general. There seems to be a lot of white space.
I put some like up there. There's one line that needs to be removed with the imports, which I'm doing now. And I have that const stack. I have that on its own because that's kind of different from the app thing. And honestly, we could probably go ahead and remove this line right below where we
Sorry, again, normally you're the stickler about white space, but I guess I'm starting to take after you now. Right?
Yep. So, okay. Now we're good.
All right, so now we have a return. So this is
also I was writing this at 12:30 at night. So,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, so we have our return, right? And so this will return something out of a function, right, Michael?
Right. This will return what is being viewed out of the app.
Yep. So we have a navigation container that defines a navigation container, correct?
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Less stack navigator, so that will define the navigation stack, right?
Right. It makes it where now I'm betting we could do stack.drawer and other things, but this will define it as a navigation container.
Yep. And then we have stack.screen. So stack.screen, from what I'm able to know, let's see, will define a stack on the, will define a screen on the stack, right?
That's correct. So it will make our first screen where we could put all of our options and everything in for that first screen. And you want to put all of your different kinds of screens on this area so that it understands how to
related.
go forward and back. Yeah.
Yeah. Component equals home screen. So eventually there should be a component that's called home screen.
Yep, and we'll see that further down.
Options equals title.
Yep, so that's the title of the screen that's going to be shown.
/ greater. So this is interesting. Let me see. Okay, so that's the home screen. So basically what you do is you define all these up here, and then down below is the components.
That's correct.
Where did you find this code at?
Somewhere online. I think it was from the React Native website or something like that.
Ah. Name equals detail. Okay. So it looks like we're going to have a home and we're going to have a detail view, right?
That's correct.
Detail screen. Options. Left slash jack navigator. Navigation container. Right parent semicolon right brace.
So that's our whole app component function.
Yes. So let's see. Are these arrow functions? What are these? No, wait.
Are you on the const home screen?
Yes.
So yeah, they are arrow functions, just like they're basically very similar to the app, but they have instead of just being the left parentheses, right parentheses, they have navigation in the or the first one has navigation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because remember, you can define functions with the variable. I actually learned about this in the Code Academy JavaScript course, which I'm 80% through. I got to finish it. But if you haven't checked that out, you should. Because, yeah, this is where I've kind of learned some of my JavaScript knowledge, right? Because basically, you can define functions in S6 like this, where you have the const, define functions with variables. So that's how I was able to tell that this was kind of a function of sorts, right? Does it make any sense what I just said, Michael?
Yep.
Const. Okay, so const left bracket set text.
So left bracket text, comma, set text. So set text is the state function that will change the variable of text.
Okay.
And we'll see that here. But it says const left bracket text, comma, set text, right bracket equals state.
Yeah. Empty quotes.
So that's saying that it will use change the state.
Yep. All right. So return. We got another return here. A safe area. We're doing scroll views now, huh, Michael?
Yep.
Text styles.
If you notice, the safe area and the scroll view have styles set to them for the container.
They do. I did notice that.
And I want to also bring up that we are going to get to styles later. There's a very important PSA that I'm going to mention during that portion.
Ooh. All right. Status
Okay,
bar.
Oh,
this is gonna be a text field, isn't it?
So there's a text, and it's using a custom text style that I created for this. And there is a status bar command. So if you see like the text, it says style equals text.
Yep.
Then I did make an input field, and that's how you do that. And it's using state change to change for that text variable in the use state area up there. So all of that's being tracked as you type. So on change is being used. Do you see all that?
Yeah, I do. I see it, and then we've got a button.
Yes, we do have a button, and if you notice that button has the on press to go to the next screen, and it uses name equals detail and
Navigation.navigate, huh?
Yep, that's how it does it.
That's a scroll view. That's a safe area. Now we got the detail screen, right?
We do have the detail screen.
This is making a lot of sense.
And if you notice this detail screen...
it says it reflects the value of the text field in the previous screen.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. So as you type in the text field on the previous screen, it will make that happen.
This is pretty cool. Return.
So it's pretty simple, isn't it?
It sure is. Let me see if anybody's watching us. What do y'all think about this code that Michael wrote? I think it's pretty awesome. It's pretty easy to grasp onto, right? Because obviously I've never seen some of this, but obviously, and I also have some programming experience as well, right? So, it's definitely pretty simple code to find out. All right, what else do we have?
So let's look at the styles.
Oh, style container.
So we have your typical flex :1, background color is white with the FFF.
Yep.
Center those things. And then we have something new.
Align items, huh? Wait.
Oh, that's usually there, but keep going down.
Oh, wait. You're making your own styles.
Yes, indeed. This is my text style that I made that you saw up there on any text field on any text, not field, but text.
Well, it technically is a text field.
Yeah, but not a text input field.
Well, oh.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure people knew it's called a text component, but it's not where you enter text. It's a label. They should call it label, I think. But
They should.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's confusing between a text field and a text input field, right?
But Swift UI does the same thing, so it's a little annoying. But if you notice going through this code, I'm changing the text color, I'm changing the background color, and I'm changing the padding, which you can do with the padding and then the number. And then I'm also rounding the corners of the rectangle that this takes up.
Ooh.
And then I'm also using so when you round the corners, it does some weird stuff. It's not as easy as in HTML. So there's a line at the bottom, the overflow, and is hidden. So that fixes that.
Wow. This is some pretty awesome code, if you ask me.
Because so anything that you give the style equals left brace text right brace to is going to get this attribute. So the reason why and my next step is going to be parsing all this out to different files, but one of the reasons why a lot of people will put a lot of stuff in one file is so they don't have to export their styles or put each style that they want in each file, because that can be a pain, but at the same time it's useful to be able to have all of your stuff in different files. So
yep.
There's drawbacks and strengths to everything, just like
life,
native versus React Native.
Yep. Okay.
All right. So Taylor, do you want to get this going where we can run this on your actual device?
I do. Let's go ahead and do that.
All right. Hang on just a second.
Let me see. Oh, hold on. It's already 9:04.
All right. I'm going to change my screen over to be sharing my browser window. So give me just a second.
Seems like my neighbors are having fun over there. Are we switching, Michael?
Give me just a second.
But yeah, while we're waiting for Michael, chat, what do you guys think about this? You guys like what we're doing, React Native? Seems like we're having some pretty, a lot of fun. But yeah, we're going to actually show you how I run it on my device next, using the app Expo Go. Will I scan a barcode, Michael?
Yes, you'll scan a QR code.
And last time, we were literally able to do it just by scanning it in a Zoom meeting. Which is crazy, if you ask me. Okay. All right. I think I see the barcode, Michael. I'm gonna go ahead and go to my camera app. I'm gonna go ahead and scan the barcode. I'm gonna click on the notification. And I'm gonna open the project. It'll open it for me.
And if you bring your phone a little closer to your mic.
Oh, that's loud. It's still opening my project. And we get a notification. Wonderful. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I'm hoping this will open. Michael, did we make it a not local project?
I did. Hang on just one moment. Stand by.
Or it could be my wonderful apartment Wi-Fi as well.
It is not. Apparently, there's an extra library I have to install from NPM, so give me just a second.
What are we installing? Stand by, guys, while we
Okay, give it another shot.
Okay, so let's try this again. I'm gonna go to camera. I'm going to line it up. Oops.
It's still showing a local IP, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure, Michael. This QR code is kind of hard to see, though.
Hang on just a second. It's still saying that it's not tunneled. So hang on just a second.
Okay. But yeah, so right now what we're doing is we're basically sharing it back and forth, right? Because obviously I'm not in the same Wi-Fi network, so...
All right, so
What are you doing?
I'm having it rerun.
All right. What's it showing?
Give me just a second.
Whoops.
It's saying tunnel URL not found, may not be ready yet.
What do you mean?
That's what it says in the debug console.
Never seen that before.
Gotta love technical difficulties, folks.
Yep, we're having some tech difficulties. We will get it resolved. Yep, we're having some technical difficulties with... Whew. Is it working, Michael?
Checking. All right.
Are we in business?
We are in business. Go ahead and give it a scan.
Oh, shoot. I gotta line it up again. I had it lined up. You're not being very helpful.
Are you sure you're not on your front camera?
I could be.
Photo image, camera chooser, button. Camera chooser, front facing, 0 people, viewfinder, image, viewfinder, camera control, flash, camera, live photo, camera mode, take picture, button, photo image, camera chooser, button. 0 people, view, camera controls, camera, live photo, camera mode, take picture, photo image, camera chooser, button.
I wish it would tell you what camera you're on.
Tilt right. Notification, Expo Go QR code, open. Expo Go QR code, open. Location tracking on, image, location tracking on, image, satisfied. Cellular, 3 of 4 bar.
Oh, now I'm gonna lose voiceover. Uh-oh.
Submit, button, submit, text, open up app, text here, text field. Open up app, JS to start working on your app.
Got it.
Home, open up home, heading. Home, open up app, JS, text here, text field. Double tap, text field, cap Y, cap T. Tang, cap, this, prediction, Y, T, R, E, echo, E, F, D, S, C, R, S, T, tang, T. Open up app, JS to start, open up app, test, submit, button, submit. Your text says test, detail, your text says test. Change text, button,
Boom. I ran it.
So then press the change text button, and that's using the state on the detail screen to change that text.
Change text.
Then flick left.
Use new text.
New text.
Yep. So that detail screen uses state again to change the text based on the button press.
Pretty cool.
Yep. So why did we build this terrible looking app? Why did I build it? Because it's a test to see what kind of components and things like that I could change. Not really to make anything good looking.
No.
So we've used navigation controllers, or containers as they call them. We've used buttons, text fields, scroll views, all kinds of different things, styles, buttons, and the next one of these that we're going to do, we're going to have built a table view, and we'll show you guys how we built that as well.
Yes.
So, this tutorial, this kind of a look was just to kind of show off the basics of some React Native views and how to style them. So, I think it's a great start. We're showing our skills of what we can do with React Native. So I love it.
I do as well.
Taylor, can you give me your thoughts? Like, what do you think about this app, and what did you learn?
I learned a lot. So I learned how to do React Native navigation and stack views, and then also, styling components, right? Because we all know, visuals are not my strong suit. Yeah, I can make things look good sometimes, but, knowing kind of that you can create your own styles, right? Just, you can define anything the way you want it, right? So you have complete control. And you could also view it on the web as, oh, we never even showed that as well. You can actually view these things on the web. So that could be another way for blind developers to be able to kind of get an idea of like where things are from each other, right? Using the web things, there's ways to like see position and whatnot. But the point still stands, right? You're able to actually, do a lot of things. So this was a pretty cool app.
I agree. There we go. So I really like it. I thought it was really neat. And, you know, for somebody that stayed up till 12 o'clock, 12:30 at night to
I think
program
it
this.
works really well.
Right. And, you know, things don't look terrible. Now, one of the things that I might do is style that text input because it rubs right up against that other text area. So I might put some padding
Yeah, that was
between
pretty
it
close.
or change some margins. Other than that, though, I think it's pretty awesome. Let's, if we got anybody in our chat, can you tell us what your thoughts are? What would you like to see us make? And, you know, even if you're watching this after the fact, leave in the comments.
We want to hear it.
We want to hear what you want us to make and what you want to learn. Even if it's not React Native,
We want to hear
What-
what you want to learn.
tell us what you want to learn and we will do it on camera. We will stream code tutorials and all that kind of stuff on camera like this. So,
Yep.
it was really neat. And I think one of the things we may do next time is I may, if I'm hosting this, I might make it where turn on share screen. So, Taylor, when you go through it, you can go line by line with your screen reader so that YouTube can hear it. I didn't think about that, but
Well, we didn't want to do that because we'd be working super, super, super fast.
yeah. And so we may change that next time, but I think this was a great, I think it's a great discussion, and it kind of, is the start of something new for us, is to talk about these aspects of building apps and, you know, using alternative techniques, instead of using native to build them with React. And so we're going to have new stuff we learn and new stuff that we've done on the stream. And is there anything else you want to talk about, Taylor, before I think,
No,
I
I think we're going to go wrap this up, and then we got to go set up a server.
Yeah, we're going to go play with some stuff, and Michael's going to also order dinner. So
Yeah, that'd be helpful. I had that a
yes,
little
it
while
was.
ago, but
yeah, so we're going to get out of here and go play with more tech. So we'll see you next time. Actually, we'll see you on here tomorrow
yes.
for our Code Academy chapter
stream.
stream. So,
Yep.
yep, it's going to be awesome.
Be
So
here
we'll
at
see
2
you.
Eastern.
Yep, 1 Central, and you can figure out your other time zones. So we will see you tomorrow, folks, and have a great day.
All right.
Hang on just a second. I nearly pressed the wrong button.